I'm trying to go live on YouTube and Facebook. Hi, Instagram. How are y'all doing this morning? Today's going to be a quick one, but something is better than nothing, right? Once you tune in, definitely say hi. Let us know where you're tuning in from. If this is your first time, definitely comment so I can give you a shout out. I'm personally tuning in from Florida, Orlando area, Florida. And for those of you tuning in for the first time, my name is Aisha Chidole. I'm an immigration attorney. I represent clients all over the United States with their family immigration matter and internationally with their family immigration matter to the United States. Good morning, Obi. I'm watching from Tampa. Good morning, Jace. Thank you from New York City. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, so today I want to talk about, let me give you my phone number. My phone number is 407-995-6567 if you want to schedule a consultation. You can also send us a text on WhatsApp if you want us to call you. And you have an American phone number. And the WhatsApp is 404-333-8751. The phone number is scrolling down through the ticker. You can also, if you're on Instagram, if you check on the profile, you will see our phone number as well. Thank you, Stephanie, watching from Houston. Thank you, Wayne from Canada. Good morning. Thank you so much for tuning in. Good morning, Krunks the Hellraiser. Your name is hilarious. Thank you for tuning in. Good morning, Anna Marie from Panama City. Denise, good morning. Good morning, Stanley O from North Carolina. Good morning, Emeka from California. Thank you all so much for tuning in. So let me just jump right into it, just because I only have 15 minutes today. Good morning, Tiffany from Bahamas. So guys, share this video before we even start. Share this video with your friends. Share it on Facebook. Share it on YouTube. Share it on WhatsApp. Just so that other people can tune in or at least get the tea. So I want to talk about the life cycle of a VAWA case. So I see that this being a recurring theme on all my live videos, where people are asking about different stages and different phases of where they are in a VAWA case. So let me just break it down for you guys. First of all, for those of you who don't know what VAWA is, I have several videos here talking about VAWA, but just a quick, dirty rundown. VAWA is an act, it's a law that allows those who are non-citizens, who are married to U.S. citizens or green card holders, to self-petition by themselves if their spouses are extremely cruel, extremely abusive towards them. It also allows, and so you can be male or you can be female. It covers both men and women. It covers same-sex marriages. It covers interracial marriages. It covers same-race marriages. As long as you have a legal marriage, it covers you. It also covers children whose parents are abusive towards them, and the parents are green card holders or U.S. citizens, or even their step-parents, as long as they submit their petition while they're under 21. If they're over 21, they need to submit it before they turn 25 and show that the reason for the late submission is because of the abuse. The third category is parents of U.S. citizen only children. Those U.S. citizen children have to be 21 or over for the parents to qualify. Okay. Oh goodness, Krung the Hellraiser, thank you so much. That's so nice of you. So as I was saying, so this is basically how it works, the life cycle. The first step is to qualify or to speak with an attorney to determine if you qualify for a petition. And some of the things that you're going to need to show that you qualify is one, obviously a real parental relationship, and the child that you're alleging abuse is up to the age, right? If it's based on, children filing against their parents, parental relationship or step-parent relationship, your parents were married, your stepfather married your stepmother, your stepmom married your stepfather, or you married your father before you turned 18 and you're submitting the petition. And then, of course, spouses, right? You have to show good faith marriage. So if you're a spouse, you have to show good faith marriage. I know people ask me all the time, well, what is good faith marriage? Good. And when I say, oh, what proof do you have to show me good faith marriage? People will say, well, I have my marriage certificate. Your marriage certificate means absolutely nothing in the world of immigration because everybody has a marriage certificate. Even if you have a fake marriage, you have a marriage certificate. So good faith marriage is showing the legitimacy of your marriage, meaning, do you have proof? Do other people know of your marriage? Do you guys have bills together? Do you guys mingle your finances together? Do you guys travel together? Do you guys have children together? Do you guys have insurance together? And, I'm not saying one or the other thing, if you don't have it, is going to make or break you. I'm just giving you examples of what is considered good faith marriage. So you want to have that. That's number one. Number two, you must, if you're married, if you're doing it based on marriage, you must show cohabitation. I don't know how many times I've said this, but you can't file VAWA if you've never lived together. You won't qualify. It's not the same as with a marriage case where, while cohabitation is not a requirement, it makes it harder for you to get approved, but not impossible. If you did it like a marriage-based case, like, if you guys have good reasons why you're not living together, it makes it harder, but not impossible to be approved. That being said, with VAWA, it's impossible. You must show cohabitation in order for you to be qualified to submit a VAWA petition or to even go to the next step, which is a prima facie, which I'm going to get into. Okay. The third thing is you need to show you are a person of good moral character. And what does that mean? Or what does that look like? Good moral character means that in the last 3 years, you do not have any crimes of moral turpitude. Right? That none of the, like, if you have any kind of arrest, that's something that we have to evaluate to determine, is this crime going to disqualify you from applying? So one of the things that have to happen is we have to run, we have to run, FBI searches, police reports. If you've not lived somewhere in the last, for the last 3 years, we want basically all your addresses, okay? From the we want to do a search in all those addresses. So let's say you came to the United States in January of this year. I'm just using this year as an example, and you filed FAWA. So even if we send an FBI search, but that FBI search is only going to cover the United States and only this year, what's going to happen is USCIS is going to want the last 2 years in wherever your home country was. So you want to make sure that you have at least 3 years worth of good moral character. And good moral character can come in the form of, one, either an FBI search saying that you're clear. It can come as a police report. It could come as members of your church, basically attesting to your character. It could come as members of your employment, attesting to your character, or just people who know that you have basically good moral character. So keep that in mind. So the next thing is, and the most important thing is, you have to show that you were actually abused, okay? Abuse does not have to be physical. I talk about this all the time. But that being said, you still have to show that what your spouse, what your parent, what your child did to you was extremely cruel, meaning the standards are higher than just my spouse is an asshole, or my child is an asshole. The standards are higher where anybody will be like, wow, that is messed up. Wow, that is horrible. Obviously, I don't have a lot of time today to just go into different types of abuses, and stuff like that. Maybe I'll do it another day. And I'm sure if you scroll down all the way back, I'm sure I have a video on that. But you want to show that. You want to show that. And it's really important that you're detailed. I know for a lot of us, culturally, we don't share a lot, Let me speak to my Africans here. Let me speak to my Caribbeans here. Culturally, we don't share a lot. When you're doing a VAWA case, you need to share. You need to, there's no, well, she was horrible. Yeah, I have high blood pressure. She just does things that are horrible. She does things that are terrible. That's not good enough. You have to show details. Like, they want to see details. One day we went to the furniture store and, we wanted to buy something. She threw a temper tantrum. She started cursing me out in front of other people. They want that detail. If you're saying that your wife, pushed you, they want the detail. What led to that? You know, what were you guys doing that should push you? So the more detailed you are, the better your case is. In that life cycle, you need a declaration. You need a personal statement of what has happened. So when you gather all these things, you submit it. The next thing that happens after you submit it, if you submit it with an adjustment of status application, is that you will get your filing receipts. So you will get receipts for both your VAWA petition, your adjustment of status petition, your work permit petition, and your travel permit. You will get all those receipts. Somebody says, I need to have a section with you. I have some questions to ask. Absolutely. Call my office, 407-995-6567, and you will be able to schedule a consultation. Let me see. I have 7 minutes, so let me wrap up quick and answer about 1 or 2 questions. So you get a filing receipt. After the filing receipt, the next thing that happens is one of 2 things. There's no method or reason to this. So if you get one before the other, you don't need to panic. You will either get biometrics or a biometrics bypass, especially if you've been, normally biometrics bypass happens if you've been in the immigration system before. This is something they're doing because of COVID. I don't know when they're going to stop that, but for right now, some people get biometrics bypass. You know, what that just means is that they will bypass your biometrics and use your old information. You know, if you've never been and you're fresh, you will still have to do biometrics. Or sometimes you might even get your prima facie determination first. Prima facie determination is something that you get if they determine that based on the things that you've submitted, you meet the bare minimum standard to be classified as a VAWA victim. A prima facie is not a guarantee of approval, but it is a good sign that your case is heading in the right direction. After the prima facie, there's still a very good chance you could get a request for additional evidence. Sometimes you may not get a request for additional evidence. Hey, Njoma, thanks for tuning in. That's one of my besties. Hey. Okay, let me continue. So, you know, even though you get a prima facie, you could still get a request for additional evidence. Okay, so that's why I keep saying a prima facie is not a guarantee. It's a good sign, but they could still ask for more. You know, and if they ask for more, then you answer what they ask for. And then at that point, or before the RFE, if you submitted an adjustment of status application and correctly categorize your work permit, you will get a work permit. Work permit timelines, honestly, I used to say 5.5 months to 8 months. I checked this yesterday, and now they're taking 5.5 months to 10.5 months. So basically, if you're doing an inquiry before those dates, USCIS is going to be like, you got to wait. You know, this is the timeline we've given, so you need to just wait until we give it to you. And that is why they are doing 2-year work permits and 2-year travel permits, just because everything is taking so long. Even for those of us, you know, my clients renewing their work permits, everything is just taking a really long time. But if you've submitted that and you submitted it properly, you get it at that time. The next thing that happens, VAWA cases, as you guys know, is a 2-year timeline, is that you will get a different work permit, an approved work permit. So that work permit is a work permit that's issued by VAWA unit, not based on your adjustment of status. This is just based on VAWA. If you selected that in your VAWA application, you will get a C31 work permit. That work permit is essentially saying that your case has been approved, okay? That being said, that comes before the actual official approval. Sometimes official approval could take a few months later. I would say anywhere from 2 months to 6 months later, you'll get your official approval. And that is just for your VAWA approval. Once you have your VAWA approval, the next thing that happens is that they will schedule you for an interview. Once you have your interview, then you'll get your 10-year green card if you're approved. So that is the life cycle. Save this video and share it so you guys don't ask me that question again about what comes next, okay? So let me answer. I have 3 minutes to answer 3 laser fast questions. So let me pick what's good here. So Chandria says, even if you're legally separated, can you still file VAWA? Absolutely, you can still file VAWA as long as you're still married, even if you're legally separated. That being said, if you do get divorced, you can still submit a VAWA petition. The only thing is that you have to submit it before the 2-year anniversary of your divorce. Mona August says, please answer my question. Well, what is your question? I can't see your question. Sorry, guys. On my phone, so I know. Okay, can I file adjustment of status here in the U.S. because 9 years ago, my U.S. citizen sister filed for me? an I-130 petition and it's approved, can I file adjustment of status on that petition? Mona, it is absolutely unlikely that you will be able to file, because normally when you enter into this country with a visa, you have a 6-month timeline that's given by your I-94. So obviously, if that was 9 years ago and you've been here since 9 years ago, I am assuming that you're currently not in status. If you're not in status, you are going to need to get a hardship waiver by a qualifying relative. And for you, a qualifying relative will be a mother or father that's a green card holder or a U.S. citizen, or a spouse that's a green card holder or a U.S. citizen. If they can show hardship to them, if you're not allowed to come back, they will approve the hardship waiver, and then you will have to go back to your home country and adjust the process. And that's why I always say I do not recommend it. If you're filing for your sibling needs to stay put where they are, because it takes a long time. The odds are that when they do get approved, they will be out of status if they're here, and it will suck because they waited this long, but they can't really do anything with that petition. Okay. Okay, so Peter says, my U.S. citizen wife is canceling our kid's case with the USCIS that is already in the process for approval because we're having a misunderstanding, and I left the house for peace to reign. What should I do? I'm so sorry to hear that. That's awful. Call me. My number is 407-995-6567. Let's evaluate and see what your children's options are, okay? Let's see. And you, as a 10-year green card holder, anyway, call me, because it depends on the age of your children, because you could probably also petition for your children, and it also depends on how long they've been here, if they're here or if they're outside the country. So there's so many variables, but I would say definitely do a consultation. Good morning, Kogmatsu. How are you? Mariana says, I applied for an I-360. Guys, I'm so sorry. I'm going so fast because I have 1 minute left. I applied for an I-360, I-131, 485, 765 at the same time. Did my biometrics on August 12th, but it shows it's been applied to my case on September 10th. My initial receipt date is May 26th. What's the wait time? Wait time is 5 to 10 months, like I mentioned. So you just count from when you submitted your receipt in May up until now. And if you did your biometrics in August, you could be very lucky and count 2 months, from the time you did your biometrics. Within that window, we generally see people get their work permit, okay? Watching Amelo says, when you get a VAWA approval, can you be denied a green card? And if yes, why? Absolutely. You can get you can get approved for VAWA, and you can get what we call deferred action. Deferred action means that they've approved you for the VAWA and they will they won't deport you, and they will allow you to get your work permit, but you could very well be denied for a green card, because when you're doing the green card interview, even though the green card interview doesn't focus on abuse, because they've already approved you for abuse, it's going to be looking at grounds of inadmissibility. Grounds of inadmissibility, which are certain things that maybe you've done or didn't do coming into the United States. If you ever claimed to be a U.S. citizen before, if you ever voted in a federal election, and, a bunch of all of that stuff, if you're in, so there are many variables to it, but I can't tell you why someone gets denied or not denied unless I actually see the denial letter. But it's possible to get approved for VAWA and have a work permit and be in what we call the deferred action state, which is they won't deport you, but it's also possible that they could still deny you for your green card and still continue to allow you to work and stay here. Okay. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Mona Ray says, can you explain what is meant by priority date? Priority date just means the date that you start counting when you're eligible for a visa. This mostly applies to people that are in the family preference category. So if somebody that's petitioning for you, let me put it this way. If you are in a category that requires you to wait for a visa to be available, you will use your priority date to determine when you're eligible. So like if they say visas are available for people who filed June of 2019, you will check your priority date to determine when whether your priority date matches that date. So that's how that works, okay? Majid said, if you're a 3-year green card holder and you came on a DV, can you apply for citizenship? Congratulations. My husband actually came here on a diversity lottery as well. You cannot apply for citizenship until you have been a green card holder for 5 years. Well, you can start applying 90 days before your 5th year anniversary, but that's basically it. All right, guys, I'm so sorry. I have to jump off. I will be back here tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think I'm actually going to come here earlier because I have a busy day. So I will try to come around the same time, somewhere between 9 to 9:30, which is why I said put your notification button on so that when I come on live, you can see me or you can hear me. I will try to get to your questions tomorrow. Guys, the questions disappear, so I don't see them again once I go off live. So if you want to come back tomorrow and ask your questions, just try and come on time so that I can get to your questions before anything else. All right, guys, I hope you have a lovely day. Bye.